team. Hello everybody. Welcome to day 5. You've made it a third of the way through the little mini series, and thank you to everybody who's been messaging and commenting on the first couple of days. It's been really cool to see your journeys and see that you're doing it and getting some benefit of it, which is exactly what I wanted, and the whole reason that I do this, and the whole reason that this mini series is made, just because I want you guys to feel a little bit of benefit from it, feel a little better in your bodies by the end. So day 5 concludes our first lot of 15-minute movement practices. The next 5 days are going to consist of 15-minute meditation practices. So we're going to come a little bit away from yoga flows. We're going to do a little bit of more yin style yoga, so holding some nice long slow poses, focusing a little bit more on our breath work and getting the most out of the breath and the stretches. And then having a little bit of introspection and going into a bit more mindset. So we're going to think less about the body and how we're moving, a little bit around how we're feeling and how we can improve that. Steve likes the sound of that, obviously. So there'll be a little bit more information on tomorrow's video, and tomorrow was going to be the start of the meditation practices. But before we do that, we've got one more day of movement, and it's a nice one. So find your space, come on up to standing, top end of your mat as always, as before. Find that nice comfortable stance by now. You would have had a pretty good idea of where your feet like to sit. So they're nice and comfortable, squeezing together, hip width apart, anywhere in between. Take a little rock forward and back, just until the feet ground. We find that little bit of air and space underneath the arches of the foot. Then we use that energy coming out of the floor and we start to draw it up through our bodies. Think about kneecaps up, knees soft. Tummy pulled in, pelvis tucked, glutes nice and active. Drawing the ribcage up to lift the breastbone. Inhale the shoulders to the ears. Exhale, take them back, take them down. Inhale, standing tall to your maximum height, letting the palms float forward. Mountain pose, we stay. Take 3 breaths just to tap into that feeling of softness and of calm. 3 breaths to just still your mind here for a moment. Invite into your body a little bit of calm. And then start to think about getting warm. Your next inhale breath, draw the hands up, allow the ribcage to flare. Inhale, breathe tall. Exhale, forward fold, float the hands down, bend the knees and lower the chest. Inhale, come up through flat back extension, fingertips to floor, shins or kneecaps. Lift and create space in the ribcage, lengthen the spine. Exhale, float your way back down. Bend those knees more to invite that forward fold and that release in the lower back. Inhale, float the arms up wide. Breathe in and roll your chest to the ceiling, palms together. High heart space, lifted, extended mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold, go through that movement again to the floor. Inhale, flat back extend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift and curl to the top. One more time here through that sequence. Exhale, really work with the breath. Inhale to draw energy up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, float. And then last time, we're going to keep this movement coming through the spine, rolling and curling as we come down. Strengthening and straightening as we lift up. Exhale to find your fold, and this time inhale, take your 2 long steps back and find your down dog for me. You might take a few moments just to set the feet to where they're comfortable. You want to bow hip width apart, elbows pulling wide so the shoulders are really active. Think about pushing your hands into the floor like you're trying to press your shoulders away from your mat. Exhale, really drive the hips back and up. And we're going to go 3 times through, making a nice waving movement with the spine. Steve, that bell. Inhale, Make a big arch through the back. Find your high plank position. And then exhale, work with the hips first. Roll back into the heels, push the hips high and up. Wave on back to down dog. Inhale, roll, curl forward. Make that big C shape in the spine. Take your time to get there. And then exhale, work the hips back and up. Push and find extension in the spine. Last time, inhale to roll. A little bit of strength in the core, hold tight. Exhale to work your way back. Inhale as you roll forward, curl your way into high plank. And then rest your knees on the floor. Take a little bit of intensity out of your core and your shoulders. Elbows squeeze the waist. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, come straight up into a cobra. So we want to keep this passive. Allow the hips to rest. Allow the chest to lift. And then draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Really push the breastbone up high. Exhale, over the knees. Push your way back through a little cat stretch, arching the back. And then knees towards hips, narrow leg child's pose. We're going to go 3 times through that spinal movement now. So inhale, roll forward. Bend the elbows if you need to, or drop straight into the hips, find your cobra. Exhale, roll back through cat stretch, arching and curling. Exhaling into the hips, release the shoulders. Inhale, come forward. Bend the knees bend the arms if you need to. Exhale, find cobra. Inhale to really lift the chest. Exhale to roll and curl back. One more time here. Inhale, roll. Exhale, drop. Inhale, lift chest. Exhale, curl back. Lovely. As you breathe into your narrow knee child's pose for a moment, just allow the feet to flatten. Allow your hips to sit all the way back. And either resting the forearms on the floor if this is enough, or working forehead down to the floor, and maybe stretching the arms out long. Let's take a little moment here for a really gentle, light hip flexor release. So just by sitting into the heels here for a moment, we're going to allow a little release, a really gentle, you shouldn't feel this one too strong in the front of the hips, but it's going to help us at the end of this flow when we sit into one of my favourite hip stretches. Take a deep breath in, fill the lungs, fill the belly, and then exhale, really relax your shoulders, try and melt on down to the floor. When your next inhale breath comes in, lift the head, spot the hands and spread the fingertips wide. Exhale, tuck your toes and lift the hips, reset your down dog. And then breathe in, we're going to take this down dog into a lunge. You want to spring your back leg because you're going to turn to face me, to face your TV, to face your screen. So breathe in, bend the knees and crouch. Exhale, spring your back leg forward. And then by walking your hands along the horizontal edge of your mat, turn both the toes out, both the heels angle in, and come into a nice wide leg forward fold. The knees can be slightly bent. We're just going to hang the head for a moment. I'm going to take 3 more spinal rolls. Everything comes in 3s today. So I want you to exhale, forward fold. Inhale, push the hands up, push the knees straight, flat back extension in the wide pose. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, stabilizing into your knee bend, drop the hips and rise up tall. Hands overhead. Exhale, fold. Knee bend goes wide. Hands or forearms a little lower to the floor. Inhale, flat back extends, and as the spine finds extension, see if you can extend the knees as well. Get straight legs or as close to. Exhale, fold. Inhale, ripple through the body, curl the shoulders as you roll to standing. Find a little bit of balance by squeezing the butt. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, flat back extends. Push through hamstrings, find stretch. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll and curl your way up. And then as you exhale down this time, I just want you to push the knees wide, keep the chest up tall, allow the palms to come together at your heart space and find your goddess pose or your wide sumo squat. But who wouldn't want to call this a goddess pose, right? So depending on how your ankles and your knees are feeling, I want you to find a really straight, strong spine. So if you feel like you're leaning forward here, I want you to squeeze and tighten your butt, push the knees out and tuck the pelvis under so the chest lifts and we become really upright in the torso. Palms together so the shoulders can drop and relax and the neck can find length. Exhale, sit into the hips. Good. See if you can eyeball inner part of the foot. So if your knees are knocking in, you won't be able to see it. Activate those glutes, squeeze the hips more, push the knees out so you can see the inner part of the knee and the foot. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, knees go out as the hips go down. Start to burn and work through the legs. I want you to move this one through 5 breaths. So we're going to hold here for 5 more breaths. Stillness or finding a little drift in the legs. Good, start to drift, straighten one leg, straighten the other. Drop the hips a little lower. Try not to find this kind of bobbing action. If that's enough for you, you can stay here. Try and find a drift. So the hips stay low. You maybe can just start to curl the toes or the feet off the floor as you push straight from side to side. Inhale, lift the chest. Keep drawing the shoulder blades back and down. Exhale, keep working lower into this drift. Maybe one more breath. And then when you get there, drift all the way over to the left side. Both hands to thigh, if it's enough for you. Here's the stretch for the inner thigh on the right leg. Option, hands to floor. If you make it, and just draw the hips lower. We're finding straight, strong leg. Working the stretch into the inner thigh, or if you make it all the way into modified yogi squat, those toes curl off the floor so the heel can dig down, and the hip sits nice and low, hamstring onto calf. We can use the floor for a little bit of balance, we can lift the chest up nice and high. Inhale, hold here, whatever level you're at. Exhale, soften the hips. Inhale, hold. And then whatever level your hips are at, just nice and gently supporting with the hands, take a little seat onto the floor and pull that foot in towards the inner thigh. You've really got that one in the legs. It's a little burner. It's a beautiful stretch when you find your right level. So we're keeping one leg out long, one foot in tucked. We're going to twist and turn the body over the long leg and then exhale and just drapes your torso down. Walking the hands lower to the shin, maybe is enough for you today, to the ankle if you make it, or all the way down to the foot. Doesn't matter how low you go into this pose. What I just want you to think about is digging your heel into the floor, flexing the toes so they're pointing back towards your chest, and then using your exhale breath like a sigh to just release tension from around your shoulders and your torso. And really let gravity do the work here. Try not to, the temptation if you're flexible enough to get your hands onto your foot, is to really pull your body down. I want you to keep hands on the floor if it helps, either side of the foot or the leg. And just allow gravity to draw your body lower. Inhale, hold. Exhale, fold. In a moment, take same arm as leg, set it inside either the knee, the ankle, the calf or the foot. Take an inhale breath and draw your opposite arm long so we reach to our wingspan. We're opening the chest now, we're not folding. Think rib cage tucks under, Top shoulder pulls back, eye gaze goes to the hands. Inhale, breath to reach behind you. Exhale, breath to draw that arm overhead. Flare the rib cage and feel the stretch in your waist and your intercostal muscles here. So it's a really nice stretch for those lovely little muscles that run in between your rib cage. Exhale, try not to let this top arm drop. Think about inhaling, elbow up, rib cage under. Exhale a little further into the side bend. And then we're going to counterbalance this with a nice little spiral twist. Top arm comes up, sets behind your hip. Front arm reaches overhead, and either just looking behind you and encouraging this twist in your shoulder blades, you can stay here. Or with a little push of your hips off the floor, take a big spiral twist, extending the spine. Inhaling, pushing the hips forward by squeezing the butt. Exhaling and looking down your back arm, reaching that top arm further behind you. Inhale to hold. Exhale to lower, sweep the arm back down, take a seat. Both hands coming to what should be now the bottom end of your mat. Find them about shoulder width apart. And by rolling torso and hips, I want you to shoot your way back into a high plank. Take a little vinyasa, whatever level feels right for you. It might be knees, it might be toes today, it might be baby cobra or up dog. Exhale back into down dog. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Take a little moment just to lift and lower the heels. Maybe rock the shoulders or the hips from side to side. Ease out a little bit of tension. And then by stepping again, still your back leg, take a big lunge forward. Walk the hands across your mat so we come back to this horizontal length. Toes turn out, heels tuck in. Breathe in, fold. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, roll your spine all the way up to standing, wide leg. And then hands to heart space, knees go wide. Both cats joining us today. Drop into your goddess pose. So see if your hips feel a little looser than they did before. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, squeeze butt, tuck hips. Inhale, eyeball, inner part of the foot and the knee. Exhale, drop, lower. Only 3 breaths this time, take a move. Start to wave. Start to see if that feels a little bit more natural. Keeping the hips low, in line, and moving from side to side. Take another breath. Keep the chest up. And through your waving motion, finish off over onto the right side now. Option, here if it's enough, you've got about 5 breaths. Focusing on lengthening this leg, feeling stretch across hamstring and inner part of the thigh, the groin. Exhale if you can, hands to floor. Working the hips down with every exhale breath. If you make it and you've got your half yogi squat, then we're hamstring onto heel, as long as the foot stays flat. Hands to floor for a little bit of balance and guidance. And that long leg, just start to allow the toe to lift. Allow your body to sit into this pose. It's usually really tight on one side compared to the other. Mine is this one. Take as much movement as you need to get there. Give me about 1 more breath, everybody. Lift the chest. Exhale, work the hips down and take a seat. And then come into your seated position. Foot in towards inner thigh. Exhale, turn your body across your long leg and drape sit down, allowing gravity to do the work for you. A few breaths here. Work the hands a little lower, either down the leg, or if you make it, hands frame the foot. So we're not tempted to tug the body down. We're just thinking, inhale out of the hips. Exhale, soften the shoulders. 1 more breath like that. Inhale, rolling and opening up towards me, towards your screen. Lay the hand to inner part of thigh, calf, ankle or foot. Inhale, find your wingspan. Reach that top arm back with some purpose and some intent. I like to flare my fingertips and find energy, like I'm purling and reaching for the ceiling. Breathe in, lift the chest, pull the top shoulder back. Exhale, find your side bend. Arm goes over the head, couple of breaths here. Thinking about rib cage under, top elbow backwards. Open up through your chest. Exhale, lower. Inhale, hold. Exhale, enjoy the fold. Inhale, roll that top arm back, find your spiral twist. Counterbalance that side bend. Here, if it's enough for you today, or slightly stronger, pushing the hips off the floor. Modified wild thing, we're just looking down that back arm, squeezing the butt and the glutes to stretch and open their hips, reaching that top arm for a full back extension. Exhale to the floor. Both hands now back at the top end of your mat. Exhale and just work your way any way you need to. Back into your high plank. Take a vinyasa. There's only been 2 today, right? Exhale to floor. On knees or toes. Inhale to lift chest. Exhale back and up into your down dog. And for the last time, spring your back leg forward. Walk your hands to the front of your mat. And this time, instead of staying in this really, really wide leg pose, I want you to just walk your feet in so they're a little wider than shoulder width. Turn your toes out to about 30, 45 degrees from the heels. And then when you feel ready, exhale and sit into either a wide squat, elbows on top of knees. And we're thinking about pulling the chest up to straighten the spine and just working into that depth and that flexibility in our hips. If we can, and only if we can keep the feet flat to the floor, do we start to sit into a full yogi squat, hamstrings to calves, elbows to inside a knee, and hands in a little soft prayer position. Now, top tip, if this feels really tight inside your hips and your ankles, roll up your mat, elevate just your heels, sorry Steve, and sit down into your yogi squat. It's going to feel a little comfier. Only if you can't do this flat on your feet. This is a really nice training tool, just with a little hip lift. Give me about 2 more breaths here. One of my favorite inner thigh stretches. We can just inhale and focus on lengthening up the spine, growing tall. Exhale, work on sitting the hips back and down, releasing tension around the pelvis, the ankles and the hips. Maybe unscrunching the feet if you find you're holding a lot of tension there. Deep breath in. Exhale, push the knees wide. Deep breath in. And then to finish, exhale, bring the hands to the floor, draw your body up, back into your forward fold. Step one foot behind the other and sit down into whatever position feels right for you. And take a nice big sigh of relief. How do your hips feel? Lots and lots of work on the inner thigh there today. Quite hippie. But that should be really, really nice for anybody who spent a lot of time sat down or walking or anything kind of we're doing a lot more of in lockdown. This is going to complement it really nicely, even if it didn't feel like it at the time. So, day 5 complete. Awesome work to anybody who's done it 5 days in a row. Super, super proud of you all. And I'm really excited to show you and share with you the next 5 days and the little dive into meditation and mind space that we're all going to take. So please enjoy the journey and come into it with a really open mind and open heart space, because it's going to be really beautiful if you can just tap into those moments of stillness. Otherwise, have an awesome day or an awesome evening if you're doing this one after work, and I will see you all for a little snooze tomorrow. Lots of love, see you soon.